Test, 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 test. What's this? A stream? Hey, Joey, how's it going? Gotta think of a programming language to say good morning in now. Yeah, you do. I expect big things from you. I expect every time I stream, I get a new language. You'd start doing all those esoteric programming languages. Pirate or ARG, maybe it's called. There's the Rockstar one from that video you sent me. The Rockstar programming language. I haven't caught up with Discord today. Surreal. I haven't seen that. Was this yours? This looks really good. I like that. CSS file is 3,000 lines. Holy moly. Oh, this is interesting. It says 0 stars. Oh, his friend. Oh, okay. It's not my design, but I'm rebuilding it to make it more maintainable. This real DB looks cool. New SQL. That's an interesting word. I've never seen that before. ACID transactional real-time document graph web database for serverless applications. Huh. Built with Rust. What does new SQL mean? Good morning, JJ. How are you today? Join cloud waitlist. I feel like there's so many databases being created. I feel like a lot of this stuff you get from other databases as a service though. I don't understand like what's the difference. The branding looks really nice though. Like holy moly. I know it has SQL like syntaxes for queries but with types. There's Go bindings as well. Oh nice. Oh, Surreal QL. Oh, it's a graph database. I don't know if it's free. They have a cloud waitlist right now, so I think that they maybe are in like some closed beta or something like that. I like every time he posts a picture, it's like very cool uploader. That's the description. I tried this BC mobile banking mod APK out of curiosity with VM like directly on my phone. Uh-oh, that's sketchy. Oh, it's open source so you can self-host. Oh, okay, that's super cool. Who's that one? There's that one guy who makes YouTube videos. He makes like the crust of Rust. I can't remember his name. It's like Johansson or something like that. He's writing a database. You know what I'm talking about? Are you setting up a database, JJ? Remix. This is a JavaScript framework. What is this? Good morning coming. It's gonna be a hello world instead though. All right. I was curious. Yeah, there we go. John Jensen. Jinset. That's crust of Rust. Yeah. I watched one where he talked about lockless concurrency for his database that he was working on. I thought that was really interesting. What's this? Oh, I started my own repository. No, it's gonna be a hello input. I was gonna do a tutorial app but failed. Honestly, you could probably just put like printf good morning and then in some random syntax and then just make up a word and I'd probably believe that it was a language. To be fair, so for this I was playing around with like organizing my tasks better on GitHub, and I was trying to like, because I have a bunch of repositories, I was trying to like boost some at the top of my list, and so I was starring them to see if it did that. I unstarred it though, because I feel like that's a little bit I don't know, it feels weird. I'll give you a laugh though. That was a good one. All right, let's give it a watch. I need to. No, it did. Or oh, let me do this. I don't know why it does that. I wish I could just default it to live chat. I always forget to do it. Spellbook SB, oh my gosh. Merchant M buys SB from me, buys SB from MI. Holy moly. This is a complicated chant that you've put out there. I'm scared if I read it I'm gonna summon a demon or something. What's this called? Like wizard or something? If I had to guess, I'm gonna Elder Tongue. They should have named the language Elder Tongue. Yeah, I unstarred them because it didn't pin it to the top of my list. Otherwise, I probably would have left them starred. It's easy to read with new lines. Oh, you made it. Oh, that's super cool. It's called RPG. You should call it Elder Tongue. I feel like Elder Tongue is such a cool word. I feel like anything with Elder in it is cool. Oh, you got a MacBook today. Nice. Congrats. It's a big purchase. Let's do it here. This is looking good already. Oh, he's going to the fair. Maybe he's not. Throw brick at dog game. No prizes.
Would a fine young gentleman like yourself enjoy some delicious cotton candy?
What year is this made? Oh my gosh, it's from this year. This reminds me of those. Dude, what's going on? This reminds me of those really old YouTube videos when YouTube was like wasn't owned by Google. Metho's execution was too painless. He never should have shared. He picked the wrong flavor of cotton candy. Jeez, oh jeez. Pingu, not again. Not again, Pingu. Yeah, that reminds me of those videos that the old YouTube used to have. You know what I mean? What is the task today? First catch up on Discord, and then oh, I actually pasted this into here somehow. I was like, did I type that? Oh, brought my MacBook today. Oh, I got mixed up there. Yeah, task today is going to be for first catch up on Discord. Second is going to be the MMO project. I'm gonna work on trying to get multiple people to log in at the same time with like different usernames. I think I'm just gonna have them randomly generate like the user ID rather than have something that like hooks into a database and having logging in and stuff like that. So it'll probably be that. Mostly I just want to test like networking. I want to be able to do some kind of benchmark between different serialization methods and be like, oh, if I have like 100 users all logged in, here's how much throughput I need and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get to that point. But I also want to get to the point where I could just like throw it on a website and people can log in through WebSockets and host it on like Google Cloud or something like that. Sorry, I'm still like really congested from just waking up. The V language. I almost feel like you can't make one letter languages anymore. Just because I feel like you need to market your language with something cool, like call it something cool like Rust or Swift or Go. Low-level programming languages. Yeah, and that's true. It's very hard to look up when you like name it after something else. I wish the top of languages wouldn't like. I don't want to read your whole language spec. I want you to be like, I'm this language, but I also do this and this. What do I think about Rust? I'm by no means a Rust expert, but I did do one Rust stream where you could watch it. I think it's called like Rust or Go Programmer Learns Rust. It's in my past streams playlist if you want to see like how it went. But overall, I think Rust is a really good language. I think that my opinion is that for like high performance distributed systems applications, Rust is going to be like what people use in the future. Because I think how they do the borrow checker is like is a lot better than anything else that exists right now. Like I don't see a reason why people want to, or I don't see a reason for why people are going to use C++ or C for like for high performance backend services like databases when you can just use Rust and get like 99% the performance and 100 times more productive and guarantee your memory safety without a garbage collector. So the big features that I liked from Rust were the borrow checker. And also I think it's a good exercise to do to learn how to use the borrow checker, because I think it'll make you write concurrent code better. Like the no race condition is another big thing why I think it'll fit well with distributed systems. I think that's almost better than the high performance of the borrow checker. Like I would honestly be fine I'd be fine using a garbage collector or an optional garbage collector, because most of the stuff I write, it doesn't need to be like that high performance. Just because I get the race condition guarantee, because I think that's really important, and that's really hard. That's a hard thing to like prove. So I think the mutable variable tracking is really good. The other good thing that I like from it is the algebraic data types. I think that the match statements, I think forcing match statements to handle all of the cases is like the one thing that's different from everybody else who's tried to do like sum types, you know? Like in Java, you have optionals, but nobody has to respect it. And the optional type can be null. The thing inside the optional type can be null. So you still have to have the if statement that checks it. So like at that point, it's kind of pointless, in my opinion. But Rust forces you to actually check it. So I think that's the difference. Some things about Rust I don't like that much, but I don't know. I think a lot of the stuff I don't like about it is kind of preferential. Like you look up to do something in C, you find C++, C Sharp, Swift, and Rust, but not anything for C. Yeah. Feeling looks like Go, but it doesn't meet all the promises it makes. That's interesting. I like how they have different links here. V has a controversial past. I'm curious. V has optional GC, but I think it's too early to use it. I could maybe see how in Rust, I would want to just like turn on an optional GC for some chunk of code, just because like it's either never going to deallocate, or like there might be some situations where the lifetimes are hard to manage, and I just want to be like, I don't care when this deallocates, like just deallocate whenever, but still track the mutability of it. You make a video series, I'm making a game in language X. You mean V? Oh, like in just some new language? I thought about finishing up that language that we started on that one stream when I was kind of learning abstract syntax trees. And oh, just any language. See, I don't know when you said X. I didn't know if that's a language or is X a language or is X a variable that holds the name of the language you're talking about. V is for vaporware. This doesn't seem very controversial. This language is not as advertises. This language does not do over 90% of what is advertised. Playground is extremely insecure. Dang, that guy's upset. I've listened to Discord on languages that are suitable for games. Yeah, I'd love to read this, but it's just too hard to read every single language spec. Like, I just want to, yeah, I would love it if people would just put, like, I'm C, but with this, this, and this, or like what language they're closest to, and then tell me what's the difference. I think people don't do that. People who are building languages don't do that because they want you to read the whole thing, but like, I just don't have time to do it every time. It looks interesting though. Gosh, there's so many languages. I think I've heard of most of these though. Lobster. Oh, this is actually really cool. Yeah, this is what I want. Look at that. Who sent this? Oh, Jomi did. Thank you, Jomi. I'll newt that. I'll give that a newt. Use Zig. I'm actually gonna star this. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I like when people curate lists like this. It's very helpful. Another language I can pause to see. Kitlang. Oh, interesting. I'm thinking of creating a web game using TypeScript and Babylon.js, then some Rust WebAssembly library for the computational heavy tasks. Can you? Yeah, I was curious about that. Can you link? Because I guess Babylon.js, yeah. So you're writing TypeScript as like the main like application code maybe, and then I don't know what Babylon.js is, I guess, but so then can you link to a WebAssembly library? I guess you have to be able to, right? Like you can just compile a WebAssembly library and there's hooks and stuff like that, and then you can call it from the JavaScript. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, you can call it via JS. Gotcha. Please insert troll face for me. I could add this emote. I don't know if this is on ours. Or did I add it on ours? I don't know. That's the point of WebAssembly. It exports functions in JS and you can import from JS. Gotcha. Can you call WebAssembly from other WebAssembly? JS lacks performant data structures, I think, and WebAssembly helps with that. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've currently not. Okay. Can you call JavaScript from WebAssembly? I guess you have to be able to, because I can call when I do my WebGL rendering, I do WebAssembly and then I call WebGL. WebGL lives in the JavaScript space, so I have to call, yeah. So you can you could have a WebAssembly, you could have WebAssembly, JavaScript call WebAssembly, call JavaScript, call WebAssembly. Interesting. You can use WebAssembly for desktop games too, I think. Oh yeah, I think Jomi was mentioning that. There's like I guess it runs in some sort of runtime though. I haven't really looked into doing that, but that'd be interesting. You could build it all in WebAssembly and then it'd be good to go. Oops. You know Wasm on the Wasm time or Wasmer? Gotcha. I like the docs, defer, box. It has Golang generic syntax. Man, you guys find so many languages. Uh-oh. Oh, welcome. Laj Matish. Sorry, I'm still scrolling down. RPG Lang. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is where you got it from. That's cool. That seems like a hard, it looks hard to parse, but maybe that's just because it was all in one line. Face shape reveal? Oh, of Jomi? There he is. There he is, boys and girls. You need to open my repo and tab. This one, right? Did you contribute to this? There's no readme. I don't know what it does. Except from the description. Root. Oh, there's TLK. Look at that. Looks like 3 commits. Alright, let's take a look. Okay. It looks good to me. I'll give the approval. Where do I approve? Kidding. Larval? Larval UI. I've never used Larval. Oh, sorry. I missed it. I missed something. What's your reason for doing Go rather than Unity Unreal? I don't like this is I don't know if this is personal preference or if I'm right about this, but hold on, let me take a sip of coffee. I don't like using tools that capture my runtime. That's like, I don't know if that makes sense in a way of describing things. I don't like it when I don't have like the main function. Like I don't like not knowing, because like when you write a program, there's like a tree, right, of your main function, and that trickles down to other stuff. You know what I mean? So like I can always go to my main function and then find out the call path of what's going on. So I like being able to do that. I don't like it when things make me not able to do that. So whenever I use a game engine, it's like I don't know how things are being called and in what order, and that makes it really hard for me to debug certain like feature behaviors, because it's like I don't know what's happening after this because the runtime manages all of it for me. So I don't like building stuff like that. I think game engines are good if like you don't mind doing that. I don't know. I don't know if it's just something that people do. People build these runtimes because that's the easiest way for them to make money, or if it's too hard to abstract something away into some library. But I don't know. It just makes me hard to reason about. And there ends up being a lot of hidden stuff that you just have to like implicitly know. Like everybody understands like a function's call path, you know, and they can follow that pretty easily. But when it's like, oh, I'm overriding some function in some, and that automatically gets inserted because it's in some folder, like that's really hard to track. And it's like, you know, those islands that you can only get to if you have or if you've already been there before. It's like that. Like you have to luck out and get there to know that it's there. Like, because there's no way that you're gonna figure out that from like, I guess you can find it from researching, but it ends up being such a pain. So I don't really like designing stuff that way, which is my main reason I didn't use it. And I also like I like programming this sort of at this sort of level. Like I like doing the engine development type stuff, so it's kind of fun for me to build it that way too. But if I was like trying to make games really quickly, I think probably using some sort of engine or other people's developed frameworks would probably be more optimal. But I probably would just use somebody else's rendering library and somebody else's ECS library. Those would probably be the two big things I'd use. I think designing stuff as libraries makes it more reusable too. Because like for example, I can't really add anything on top of Unreal because Unreal is what it is, and I have to like go in and modify their code to modify Unreal. Um, but if it's somebody else's library, like I can put a wrapper around somebody else's library and use that, you know. Unit check Discord, yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it, boss. Aha. Maybe after unit stream. Oh, interesting. Only I was good at drawing with a mouse. I actually have a drawing tablet. I should use that more. This is actually really nice. I'll bookmark this too. Like I like having this call path hierarchy of code. And I hate it when like they ask you to like, oh, there we go. Oh, I can just change them. Oh, that's super cool. Like when they only let you modify this stuff, you end up not really understanding like how you don't end up not really understanding like what's the order of this stuff being called. Oops. I don't know why I did that. Oh well. Like this ends up being the only thing you can control, you know what I mean? Did I hear drawing tablet? You did OSU STD player confirmed? Yeah, I'm top ranked. I want you to know that. Do 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 do. I've seen people do those videos. Is it fake? Are those videos fake? Because it seems so difficult. Like that seems impossible to me that people are able to like do that. I guess if you maybe you practice long enough. Oh, this is super cool. Because I like Svelte, but I hate JavaScript. I hate Node.js. They're actually really good. Somebody link him a video in Discord. Yeah, it's nuts. Some of it's got to be fake. Like the ones that are like some of the like there's ones that are like they're like Pingu ones, you know, where they duh 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 duh, and it goes like brrrr. Those ones are fake. And those ones are obviously fake because like he'll always like spin his keyboard or something like that in the video. But the other ones are genuinely impressive. Well, those are some good links, boys. Thanks for sending them. I have some afternoon reading to do now. I usually watch TV over lunch, but today I'm gonna have to read. Sounds like a big black fox. What do you mean? I don't get it. Oh, sorry. You know, if a role says it can be remote, should I explain why remote is good for me? Like my family situation, does that hurt chances? I think from the interviewer's perspective, they don't really need to know. They don't really need to know like the details of your family situation, but you can be like, hey, I'm looking for a remote job because of my family situation. And that's probably all they need to know. Like they don't need to like pry into your life, but like asking if it's something that like if they're looking more for like if you want to be remote, it's gonna cut you out of some jobs. So if they're like, no, we won't take you remote, but we'll take you in person, then you have to make a decision, I guess. Are you gonna read all the docs of the languages I linked? Oh no. Oh gosh. There's so many. You mean in that one list? I saw Val. I saw Kit. We could read those. Yes, the whole list. I'm not a huge fan of doing includes this way anymore. I like when they namespace the whole entire path. They probably did it this way because it was easier. Where's the docs? You can import C header files. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that maybe that's the trade-off there. I guess I prefer how Go does it, honestly. Like I like when they have a path that takes me to some like universal like place where they use a URI, I guess. And like that's where the code is. View examples. Holy moly. Oh, you can do packages as well. Okay. That reminds me of an XKCD. Yeah, I guess I'm fine. I'm fine with the C import way, like the import header.h, just because of backwards compatibility. But I do like it when they have some sort of package system. Have you guys seen this XKCD? That's probably what you're referencing, but what Jacob said reminded me of this. Uh-oh. Yeah, like is there like a quick overview of this? I guess they kind of have it here. Traits. So they have interfaces, polymorphism, and abstract types. They have algebraic data types. Oh, abstract. Oh, okay. Generics, pointer dereferencing. Is it garbage collected? No GC. You can use your own scope memory management strategies, including reference counting, localized GC. Term rewriting system. That's kind of interesting. Abstract is like a zero cost abstraction thing. Well, it sounded like in Java you had abstract types. That's what it sounds like. Oh, they'll be converted. I see. I actually like this. I think that that's cool. Term rewriting rules. Oh, that's kind of interesting. So if someone ever types this, it's just going to go to that. I don't know how frequently. I don't like know how. Maybe there's some situations where this is useful, but I very rarely will have like sign of pi over 2 in my code. But I'm curious how they do. Oh, they don't have. Yeah, I'm a fan of organizing like this because I think that you should have the easiest way of implementing something be the fastest way, and I think that's fine for it to be kind of hard. You know, I guess it depends on what they want. Like I'm fine if they say like, oh, you can always allocate memory, but if you want to use like a GC, you can easily implement one. Yeah, I think I understand this. I do think that this is something that I don't see a lot of languages doing, which is weird because it seems like a very easy thing to do. But there's all this math that has to happen. Like they may as well just execute it at compile time, you know? Yeah, like the make or break for this stuff is like how good are the open source tools or how good are the libraries that people make and how good is the package management system? I think that stuff needs to be like really top class. But I think as long as they don't like build too many weird abstractions, I'm generally fine with tools. Zero overhead C interoperability. Yeah, it seems like it said it compiles to C. Oh, they have a roadmap. That's kind of cool. Interesting. All right, let's look at Val. I'm gonna go kind of quick because I do want to code a little bit today. I've looked at languages for a while. I need to make another cup of coffee too. Concepts of mutable value semantics. In the strictest form, references become second-class citizens. They are only created implicitly at function boundaries and cannot be stored in variable or object fields. Oh, that's interesting. I'll look at this in more detail later because I think that that's an interesting thing. Zig is your new friend unit. Yeah, I'm not. I've never tried Zig before. I guess I could try that one eventually. But the problem with Zig is the problem with non-memory managed languages is that like I'm too lazy to manage my own memory. That's the problem. You know what I mean? I'm just too lazy to do it. And like the performance gains from managing your memory, like it's just another thing you have to optimize. You know what I mean? Like to some degree I understand like organizing your memory in an optimal way, but like organizing the allocations and deallocations and stuff like that seems really painful. Hey, look at this beautiful map, this beautiful Perlin noise map. I'll be right back. I need to make a cup of coffee. I'm gonna fall asleep at the wheel. You guys can stare at the beautiful map while I'm gone though. Where's the random battle? Sorry, this is the only man that lives here today for the next while. I see everything as Among Us, even the map. He looks a little bit like that, I guess. Trying to think of a web project to do with Cobra Kai. What does that mean? Oh, the show? Error pre-rendering failed with code 1. Such a helpful error. Send help. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that one, buddy. All right. Yeah, the show. Nice. All right, let's see what we were doing last time. Oh, yeah, what did we want to do? I wanted to do having multiple people log in and let's open up all our applications. What I was doing was originally like I logged the same player in, and I think that would mess things up. I probably need to like, because it's been a while since I've coded this, I might need to like mentally walk through what was happening before. I know I have a block diagram of this somewhere. I just don't know where. I haven't worked on this in such a long time. I think it's been almost a year. Well, other than last week where I worked on it, but I didn't really like do that much. So, I'm just trying to understand I guess they could make the request with their login credentials. Like, I'm just trying to think of how it's going to eventually organize. Or they're going to make the request, like they're going to log in some other way, and this is them like making their connection, you know? Because basically how it works is usually they get a token that they associate, like they'll get some token from some login server, and they use that token, they pass that token with every single request, and then that's how you see, like, so the tokens, or you're able to authenticate the token because it's got some decryption thing in it, and I see HTTP package. I go focus on stream now. Why is that? Are you interested in this stuff? The HTTP stuff? So I think how people usually authenticate, they'll pass like a JSON web token with the request, and then I can decrypt that and figure out who they are and get their user ID. Yeah, I'm talking about JWT tokens. The JWT? I am. So I think that that's eventually how they're going to log in. But for now, I might just do like an incrementing counter. User ID. Why did I do 1111 though? This makes me think I was worried about some sort of collision inside of like my ECS or something like that. So this was going to give them ID 111, but I'm pretty sure I did a map of the user ID in the game. I think I have a map that goes from user ID to ECS ID. You pass the token every time you send a message in the WebSocket. Not every time you send a message, just for the initial like connection, because it'll be like eventually this will be like encrypted. You know, I think right now I don't encrypt it just because it's kind of hard to muck with keys, but like for prototyping. But like eventually what's going to happen is like the request, they basically open a request and that'll be encrypted. So that way you guarantee that the person, because every single message that goes back and forth after that's going to be encrypted. So you know that only that person can decrypt your message. So if somebody does like hijack the connection, they can't really like do anything because they don't have the right encryption key unless they get your key somehow, in which case I can't really tell. And like they may as well have gotten your token anyways at that point. So just during the initial connection, it gets upgraded to like basically a TCP socket, and then over that we talk encrypted. So you just need to do it for like the initial like handshake part, the token. But when like restful services, those ones they pass a token every single request. Like you pass your token every single time. If you pass the token, the rest is encrypted. Yeah. So the token just identifies who the request is coming from. And then it's the same request because it gets like the request gets upgraded to a WebSocket basically. I can't remember what I used for WebSockets. This one in Hoyer. This is game updates. This is heading the other direction. Does the client send a public key with which the messages can be decrypted? Well, I think it's I think what it is it's gosh, what's the word for this? I can't remember the exact term, but there's like it's like called like one-way cryptography or like private key cryptography or something like that. Basically both sides of the connection have their own private key and they're the only ones that can decrypt the message. They send their public key to the other person. So they both have their own private key, which is hidden. They both send their public key to the other side. And then whenever I'm on the left side, I send it to the right side. I encrypt my data with the public key, which means that the only person that can decrypt that data is on the asymmetric. Yeah, that's right. So when I encrypt it on the left side, the only person that can decrypt it is the person on the right side. Yeah, so you don't send your private key, you send, yeah. You send the public key, you're right about that, but you encrypt it with that. Yeah, Jacob's got it. Asymmetric cryptography. Dang, the two Jacobs teaming up. You gotta love it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm not like a cryptography expert, so I don't want to like pretend that I understand it completely, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Okay, client login, new ID, user ID. I thought I'd map it somehow. How do I do world update messages? So this is the login message. I thought I would put it into some, oh, here's the login map. Okay. I don't really like case statements. I find them really hard to read. I don't know why. Oh, this is just an infinite loop. Oh, okay. This is serving the proxy connection. Okay, so I make like a login map. This is what maps the two together. Case is better than if, else. Yeah, it probably is. I get mixed up though, because when I don't see an end bracket on stuff, it kind of confuses me where it ends. I don't know. I feel like I always look for the end bracket to know when something ends. Like at least if it was a if statement, I'd be able to tell where it ended. But yeah, it's a little bit more text, I guess. Do you know bit shifting? Do you ever use bitwise operations? Sometimes I do. Like I'll use bit masking sometimes. I don't think it's uncommon. It's usually done because you need to compress data into like as minimum bits as possible. So you'll put multiple fields inside of the same like unsigned integer or whatever. Sometimes you can't afford the ifs chain. What do you mean? This is the proxy. This guy also has a login, a room map of IDs. The hard part here though is that user ID is just kind of like some random number, but eventually I don't know if it should be like a session based incrementing number or something like that, or if it should be a like the actual user's ID, like a string of whatever their ID is. And maybe that is just an incrementing number. And so it's as long as booleans are together. And CS structive booleans will only use 1 bit for each boolean. They just have to be next to each other. Bit shifting never clipped for me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that there's probably some like bit shifting exercises you could look up, and that might help. I very rarely want this behavior where when I type term, but my mouse is down here, it auto snaps to the bottom one. But whatever. All right, our goal is to launch a bunch of these now. Oh, here's what we're gonna do. We'll do var uint 64. I guess I can just leave it like this because I do like that Go has default numbers, which is 0 for everything. User ID is User ID counter. Oh, I need to put this into a lock section though, don't I? The reason I have to lock it is because why not a random UUID v4? Does the ID need to be an int? It doesn't. No. So it's not. I think originally it was a int because it was the same ID as what was used in the ECS. But now I basically maintain a map where if I want to look up the ECS ID for a player, I look it up in the map, and that's pretty fast and not that common of an operation. So the I guess the reason I'm not using a UUID is because I don't really like need one. I like eventually what's gonna happen is the user is gonna have like when you make an account, you're gonna have like a user ID, right? And that's gonna be assigned to you, and that's probably not gonna be like a UUID. It'll be some randomly generated thing. I just don't think it's gonna be a UUID. But like the only reason I think you really need a UUID is when you need a unique ID, but in a distributed system. Like if you're on a single thread, there's really no reason. I guess I don't know. Maybe there is a reason because I have multiple connections happening at once here. But like a UUID is good because you have a very rare chance of collisions between the IDs. But I can just guarantee that I don't have a collision because I'm just gonna increment it. I'm gonna lock when someone logs in. I'm gonna lock it. I'm gonna get this thing, which is kind of protected by this room lock. Increment it, and then like use that user ID. And then once this unlocks, the next person that logs in can get the same thing, but it's going to be a different number. And I've kind of guaranteed that that's going to be a different number. But if I did a UUID, I wouldn't have to lock it because I'm going to kind of like I'll have a low probability of getting a collision. But yeah, I think that the place where UUIDs shine really well is when you have like let's say I have a bunch of servers and I'm going to generate like when someone creates an account, I'm going to generate an ID, and I don't want to have some singular place that guarantees that the ID is unique, then I would use a UUID, or I'd use some form of like auto-generated thing. Because otherwise I have to maintain some centralized like data source that says like, oh, these haven't collided. So for like for services where you need to host a lot of like transactions per second, UUIDs are good because you don't have to make another call to some other service to get like your ID, you know? But UUIDs are, I think they're just like, are they 256-bit or 128-bit? How many bits are UUIDs? Yeah, they're just like 128-bit numbers, basically. Yeah, 128. Jomi knows. I don't even need to Google this stuff. I use UUID everywhere to troll, depending on which version. Yeah. I don't think UUIDs are necessarily bad. I just don't think it's necessarily needed in my situation. I do want to put a note here, though, because this isn't the final thing. Eventually, like, what's going to eventually happen is they're going to have to pass a token in, and the token is probably going to have their user ID in it. And I'm going to use that. And once they create their account, though, that's when you would generate the ID. And people creating accounts probably going to be pretty low transactions per second. So in that case, I might just have like an incrementing ID on a database. But that like the only downside there, I think, is that now you know the rate. Like if the ID is known to be just be incrementing, and if I create an account and my account's like 1,000, then I know that other people's IDs are like 0 to 999, you know? So I found out like a lot of people's IDs, and you can kind of guess at what the next ID is going to be, you know? So just by knowing how many people are in the game, you know what the range of IDs is, and that's another bad thing. So that's why you might use a UUID too. I don't know if I necessarily need to be 128 bits, but there's probably not a reason to do that. This reminds me of the Minecraft auth system thingy. It uses a JWT and the public private key thingy, I think. Oh, cool. I'm glad I'm at least following like some kind of pattern then. 256-bit, yeah. One thing I have seen people do a lot, which I don't think you necessarily need to do, is once they make a UUID, and maybe you guys can take this to your backend development, you don't need to encode your UUID as a string, like in your database. If you're going to key off your UUID, you don't need to encode it as a string. You can encode it as a 128-bit integer or unsigned integer or whatever it is, and use that as your key. So I've seen a lot of people just make that field a string and then like pass in their UUID, which looks like you know what I mean? Like they'll make that their field in their database. That's what I do. Yeah. Yeah, and like that's probably like that's the easiest thing to do for sure. But you could like turn it into an int and then save some bits in your database. I don't know. Half bit, quarter bit, tenth of a bit. To be fair, I barely do backend though, and when I do, it usually ends up in production dying. I'm sorry, bud. Yeah, it definitely happens. Okay, we can still log in. Oh, I think I did 1111 because I wanted to be in my printout statements. I think I wanted to be able to see like the user. Like I think that this would have shown 1111. You know what I mean? All right, let's see if this fixes it. It might just be that easy, boys. I need to not, oh, it's not full screen, perfect. CD client, uh-oh. Weird how janky that one is. Are you using the standard Emacs color scheme? No, I am not. Yeah, there's some stutter, I don't know what it is. The standard Emacs theme is like white. Oh yeah, that's like the one in my old MacBook, white. Yeah, there's some stutter. I don't know what's going on yet, but we'll figure it out, one day at a time. Remember when IntelliJ decided to randomly set my color scheme to light? Oh really? I like my color scheme in Helix. The color yellow is grown on me. Yeah, I like yellow. I think this is a pretty good one. I don't see myself really changing from this one, this color scheme. It does well enough for me, you know. I need to get my coffee. I'll be right back. I really like the bold yellow for keywords. I keep game and networking separate. Use a server-side language for authentications and such, and go for game. I don't know. I don't think I understand. Why use different languages when I have the same one? I think there are big advantages to using the same language across your whole project, because like if I make one type somewhere, I can use it in some library. I can use it in all of the spots. Emacs looks interesting. Yeah. I don't know why, but I barely use Helix. I don't know. Use the text editor you like. What I need in a color scheme is different colors for different things, but not too many different colors as well. Like for loop can be the same color as other keywords. Any language is a server-side language though, exactly. As long as it can open a socket. Or I guess you don't necessarily even need to open a socket, do you? I don't want to go doing gaming and networking at the same time. Performance may take a hit. Well, so like the server, like the backend server that does the physics simulation, for example, still needs to get updates from the player. So that has to do some degree of networking. I do have a proxy server that sits between them, but like you're gonna take a little bit of a performance hit just by receiving the messages from the players. But like there's really no way around that. There's no way to just know what the player was gonna do otherwise. Say PHP handles server side and Go handle gaming and graphics. Isn't PHP just for like web page rendering? Can you do like backend server stuff? I guess I don't understand what the PHP would be doing in that situation. I maybe don't understand what the server side thing is. I want to look at, I wonder if it was stuttering just because of all the printouts I have. Pocket Mine, Minecraft Bedrock server written in PHP. To Minecraft, what does that mean, Minecraft Bedrock? Is this just something that Bedrock is Minecraft but worse? Originally for mobile devices. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and I didn't know that. Are you winning, Dad? Sure am, son. What's up, Doru? Let's go. Let's do. Let's launch 2 again and just see. Game update 1, 3. Weird that there's no 2. I wish that I think I just have too many printout statements, and Emacs can't just handle it. Maybe I do this because the Emacs printout thing is just really slow. Okay, that's smoother. But I still don't see the other person. So I think they're not, for some reason, each client isn't like realizing that the person's there. But this guy is getting the, it looks like he's getting the update for the other player. Like this is player ID 2. Wait a second. 2 map? Yeah, that's weird. It's player ID 2 though. I would think it'd be player ID 0. For me, I'd have something like C++ handle gameplay and graphics, then a server-side language like Node or PHP handle users signing in and out, reporting their game data to the server and client. Door is good, but not caffeinated. Uh-oh, time to change that. I'm already on my second cup. You better catch up, buddy. You better catch up, kid. Yeah, I think that what you're saying is that like not everything needs to go into the backend server that handles the physics simulation, and that is true. Like for example, the logging in, I haven't implemented that yet, but that will be on a different server. Like I'm not gonna have the gameplay server do like the user sign in and authentication. Typically what people do is they'll have typically what people do is they'll have like a microservices where they'll have like, here's a login server, and then here's maybe I can use the little diagramming tool. Oops. Oh wow, it saves my last one. Typically people do like, they have like login, and they'll have like, well, usually they have like some kind of load balancer, right? Well, let me just say what I'll do. I'll probably do something like this. This is the game. This is like the backend game server. This is doing the physics simulation. This is the proxy server, which kind of holds all the data and fronts user connections. And the reason you separate them is because you want to be able to restart the game server potentially without impacting the user connectivity. So like the game crashes for like, this is supposed to be really simple, so it hopefully doesn't crash very much. And you can have a fleet of these as well to scale up, having tons and tons of users. And then you only have one connection per each of these. So the game server doesn't have to have, like, let's say you have like 1 million people. 1 million people can't connect to one server. You have them load balance to a bunch of other these kind of talk to, I guess. This is kind of a shitty diagram, sorry, but you could have like 10 servers, each fronting 10,000 connections, right? Or I guess if they have a million connections, it'd be 100,000 connections, which is still a lot, right? So you need a million people is a lot though. But you can divide up the user connections to these proxies, and then the proxies hold enough data, or the proxies front the messages from the game servers to the actual users, and then the users all hit the load balancer, and the load balancer decides how to front these to different proxies. Basically, login probably isn't behind the same load balancer, but there would probably be some other login server, and that probably has its own load balancer, and that probably has its own fleet of servers that do logins, you know? So, but yeah, you typically do divide up stuff kind of like this. Like you don't want to, just because you don't want to have things, there's two reasons. You want to have extra performance. Like you don't want to bloat down one server with a bunch of extra work. Not that that's too big of a deal, right? But that is one important thing. The other thing is reliability. Like if you have all of your stuff on one server, when that server crashes, everything's gonna go down. What's up, Dracula? How's it going? What are you guys making? We're back on the MMO grind. So it seems, yeah, like what was happening with the stuttering was that, the Emacs printout is so slow that when I had 2 users logged in, it was just taking too long. So when I use the terminal, it goes a lot faster. But I do need to clean up my printout statements. I need to clean up a lot of stuff in this, to be honest, but I think it's already 9:40. But they still aren't seeing each other. But this was these were the client logs for the second client. Let's scroll up a bit. I think I'm getting 2 updates. Server send update. What is that? Oh, it's this one. Update world data. Union is making MMO authentication. I'm actually not doing the authentication just yet. I'm randomly giving people an ID when they log in, and then, or not randomly, I'm incrementing an ID counter, but everybody gets a different ID. I'm trying to get multiple people to log in at the same time, basically. I want to get rid of the query dependency for our website, but I have to rewrite the JS. Oh, the jQuery dependency. Don't do it. Don't you do it. My text-based MMO is going to beat you, unit. I don't think so. Well, I guess we'll have to put it to the test. One thing I wanted to do is once I have this like to some reasonable point where I could literally host it and like have people play at the same time, I do want to put it on like my website, because I think it'd be cool if like there's a live version and there's the version I'm working on. So I'm trying to get it to that. That's kind of like my near-term goal for it, is get it there. Just, I don't know, I feel like it makes it cooler to follow along. And people can kind of just like pop in and see what's going on and like click like play as guest or something like that. Just realized tomorrow is Friday, very pog. It is, isn't it? Look at that, the 26th. Wait, no, it is. You were right. You were right all along. I don't know. Oh, I was on a different one, wasn't I? Okay, let's look at the servers. Server send update, world update, 0. Wait, what is the send update? Yeah, oh, user ID. Okay, so I'm sending to user 0 the world data. And the world data says there's someone with ID 2 who's at this position, and there's someone with ID 3 who's at this position. So these are the ECS IDs. Gotcha. This is the proxy world update. So the proxy is getting the same data. It's weird though. Let's go up. Just so that the user didn't past where the user disconnected. Go further. Oh, he disconnected a while ago. Handle game update. See, I don't really have a good way to, I guess I can just do this. Okay. Yeah, so we have handle game update. No, wait. There's one that's like server send update or something like that. Server send update, world update. Server send update, world update. It's weird I'm sending it to the same user, it seems. Right? Like this looks like I'm sending the same world update. Who calls this? I am in fact using WebSockets, yeah. I really need to bind a hotkey that just lets me do like a silver searcher search on this. Oh, it's just part of the main loop. It's weird though that this is, wait, oh, that's why. Why is this hard coded to 0? User ID 0. I'm exhausted today, I got 4 hours of sleep. And that sucks. Yeah, you gotta get that sleep. Your brain will function. Oh wait, I think my expectation was that this would be overwritten. Yeah, update.user ID is this. Oh, I'm printing it wrong though. Wait a second, this doesn't make sense, does it? ID user. Oh, so for each user, I serialize it and I send it to the proxy. I need to put this though here, because I'm updating the update and then I'm printing it, and that's why it was showing as the same number probably. Let's check it again. Server send update. Yep. So this one's going to ID 0. This one's going to ID 1. It looks good. I need to have the because what I'm doing with this one is it makes it really hard to understand, is that my printouts are all happening for 3 programs on the same thing. With the server sending stuff, then the proxy needs to handle it. So the proxy is receiving the data. Oops. I think my guess is that let's look at what the proxy does. Let's see what the proxy does. We did it from the client and send to the game server. Those logs them in. That's that loop. This is the other thing. Oh, I want to look at this actually, because I think both of the messages are being sent to the proxy at least. I'm sending the update. I'm also getting the update back. See, and this is the position. It's weird though because the second client should be getting the data, but I think he's not drawing it because maybe he's not making the sprite. I'm just I don't remember what happens like when the data gets sent over. What I kind of do this like naive thing where I copy like the ACS state from the server and send it to the client. I say like this ID has these components and I send that over, and that gets filled in the ECS on the target side, which would be the client in this case. When the client receive, oh no, jeez, what's going on? I had one bad key combo. Now it's completely frozen. Did my stream disconnect? Ah, there we go. We're back. Okay, client receive, which is here. So this will be the login response. Otherwise, we get this. We put it on the network channel, and then I think I have, or where does network channel get used? Oh, this is part of the input system. So this is a system that takes the data off of the off of this queue and then puts it into the ECS. Yeah, so I think the problem is that I'm sending over the transform, but I'm not sending over the like I have this body component basically, and for some reason that's not getting sent over. I don't know why though. It might be I might have messed up something in my serialization, but I need like I guess I need some way to indicate that this is a player. Or I need some way to indicate that it needs to be drawn. I think when I have body, I draw that. I thought for sure I had something though. Let's do an experiment. Let's just write a blank body to everything. Oh, I need to do ecs.c, or I need to do this. Just Emacs. It's just my life. This is my life now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so for some reason, the visual part of the player, which was I called the body component, isn't being passed over. Well, there we go. We got an MMO with 2 players. All right, let's push it to the limit. I don't know if oops. Nope, that's the wrong one. 3 players, 4 players, 5 players. What's in Grok? 9. It's over 9,000. We'll get there one day, Jomi. We'll get there one day. Let me just do a little Pac-Man search for it. It's a port forward without leak your IP. Yeah, that's true. I don't really want to leak my IP, do I? HTOP doesn't have that, does it? That would be embarrassing. Okay, good. Yeah, it's hard to like, shoot. It's hard to, because I do want to look at like how much I'm using, but I also don't want it to be like, here's your IP address. Like, you know, the tools are handy. Maybe we'll look at, I'll find a tool that lets me analyze it, and then we can look at it then. Well, we got five, at least 5 players works. I don't know how to put this up here. Okay, we'll just do this. What's that? I've used this tool before. There's a tool that's called Apache Bench. Was that something? When you need tiling window manager. Yeah. Look at this. Now imagine this in your browser. What does what do? Oh, the tool I'm thinking of? Oh, it's TCP TCP dump? No. It basically like prints out every single packet that gets sent. Let me just Google this. Here's what we'll do. Linux, how to measure network traffic on an interface. It's like Wireshark, but it's the command line version of that. I can do iftop. I'm just gonna do this on my other screen just because I don't know what this stuff's gonna print. I think it's iftop is what we want. Sorry, I'm trying to look at how to show how to do it on one interface. iftop looks like what we want though. iftop localhost? Man, iftop? How long have you been working on the MMO this week? Not very long actually, just today, and then yeah, I guess last week I was going through all my projects and reorganizing them, and then this week I missed my stream on Tuesday, and then today I've just been working on the MMO. But we have multiple players now, but they have like a randomly generated ID, so or not randomly, it's incremented counter. Have you heard of bpytop? No, I haven't. iftop-i localhost. What is this? Config if. What is IPADDR? Hold on, let me just make sure that there's none of my IP info here. Okay, looks like we're using like a megabit, but it's pretty unoptimized. We're not gonna do monthly subscriptions, but we will do. I'm gonna do NFTs. I'm just kidding. Let me look up bpytop. Yeah, I bet you didn't catch that one, or you did. I bet you didn't expect that, did you? Did you, buddy? Holy moly! This README is insane. That's crazy. That's crazy detailed. NFT of player character guy. Exactly. Yeah. Like I'm expecting it to go for like a mil, maybe two, just depending on how much hype I can generate. At least a million though. It's easy. Easily a million. And then imagine once I start putting hats on him. Come on. Come on. Holy gosh. That looks really nice. This is all in a terminal. I like how they have a menu, options, help, start new run, NFT clothing. Exactly. We're gonna make it big. We're gonna make it big, boys. Oh look, I can just install it just like that. Let's close a few of these and see how much it decreases by. I think logouts don't work though. Look at that, it dropped. That's the main one. Oops, I forgot I don't have exit working. Out. Because really these don't match. It's kind of confusing because it's like localhost to localhost is this much, but then localhost to localhost is this much. I don't really know. But I think there's a few issues still. Like I think I continually, even though the person logged out, I think I'm still trying to, I think I don't remove them from the user map. So I'm still trying to send the data to that user that logged out, but the proxy knows that they logged out, but the server doesn't know that they logged out. So that's still a disconnect. I need to write this stuff down or I'll forget. I don't really know where to put this stuff. Oh, I have a GitHub project now. Let me see here. Or projects. So when the user logs out, the server isn't aware. That's one issue just from looking at the logs. Ever heard of an application called processing? Is that processing JS? I think I've heard of that. I don't know what it is though. Yeah, I haven't looked at processing that much. Processing JS. Oh, I think it's not used, or they're not maintaining it anymore. Lets you export applications which give you a runnable file. Oh, that's kind of cool. Java specific code, minim or video. Oh, it's in Java. Oh, interesting. If you don't get a jar file, you get like a actual executable. That's kind of cool. Let's see here. Oh, I still have a hack. MMO hack that adds a body component to all of the received entities. Like technically what I did was kind of a little bit of a hack just to see if that was the problem. What we should be doing is we should be serializing it properly. Let me update this. We should serialize properly. Well, actually I can do this, can't I? What'd I miss? We got we got a bunch of people running around. They're all running in circles. I don't know if there's anything else I need to track. I think there's just those two. And people need to log out. I need like a logout message or a disconnect message or something like that. Need to add a this as well. Cool. We're getting there. Like I'm able to detect that the user's disconnected, but I don't think I actually track it like kind of internally, you know? So still more to do, but it is 10:10 now, which is quitting time. Oh, is this what tells you? Maybe there was a way to tell which way it was going. Anyways, boys and girls, thanks for stopping by. It was a good stream. We made some progress. Made some good progress. We're getting there a little bit closer every day. And yeah, I will see you all next time, probably Tuesday, for the continuation of the live stream. Well, I missed a lot. That's all right. You can rewind. You can rewind and scroll back. Look at all the men run around. All the little characters. All the little guys. Yeah, sounds good. See you, Jummy. See you all. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. I'll see you next time.